I'm giving you in 30 minutes, 4 days worth of training, so we're not doing training. But what I wanna make this point clear though, that if, before I would get these two together, I'm gonna interview both of them, okay? Before I offer to you to meet with her, I'm gonna make sure you're willing to meet with her. Because guess what? If I get you all excited and feeling like you get to meet with her and you say no, I've just participated in you reharming her. So that's why it's a real structured process. So, but yeah.
So if Lydia didn't feel like remorse, or she's like, well, I don't care what she thinks, you would
I
probably
would
not.
never get her in that room. I would never put her in a situation, let her do more harm to her. No. And that's why it is a process. It is, like when, one of the biggest group I've had was 21 people. I met with all 21 people first before I got them together. And I actually went over all the questions I was gonna ask everybody in that group before I got them all together.
So let's say like 5 years down the road, Lydia's ready to talk, would you still suggest?
Yeah.
As long as
If she wants to participate, yeah,
Okay.
no doubt.
Mhm.
Because that's the thing, and that's why I wanna show you this 1-minute video. We'll pull it up on YouTube, so. Okay, let me see if I got my cards, because while you guys take cards, I will get the video set up. And if I left them in my car, I'm gonna be angry. No, why not? Okay. I'll get them, but, because I want you to have them before you go, because I think it'll help with what you're doing, because those cards are really, really powerful and impactful. Yeah, I'll get them out of cards. So this is what I want you to do though. I want you to turn to a partner while I do this. Think about a time when somebody did something to you. You don't share your story, but think about a time when somebody did something to you, and talk about what you thought, felt about the situation, how you were impacted by the situation, and what you needed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Everybody got that?
Mhm.
You don't have to tell what happened, but when you think about, and if somebody did something to you, could have been cutting you off in line at a grocery store. But what you thought, how it made you feel, the impact of it, and what you needed at the time. And I'll get the video.
Ironically, I'm just not going to disclose what's going on, but I've actually been in the current situation where I'm actually kind of being denied my rights right now, and all these guys seem to get that. And honestly, I need to be a respectful, honest, and reasonable person, but I'm just like mad because I know the situation, I know what happened that night, I've done my research, I've talked to several people just to make sure I make an informed decision. And because it was not handled properly, because I don't think I've been taken seriously, it's an awful thing that happened, but I have not been able to go through the process to have things right, or any control over it, and the hell with that. I'm sorry, but that's where I'm at right now.
You're just very angry.
Well, it's just like I should be. I mean, like, I mean, it's my rights. I mean, I don't know how like, the outcome would be, but I should be able to participate in the process to make things right.
We're right, yeah.
And like, I've been denied my voice, and that's just, no, it's not gonna fly.
I'm really curious about what
The
it is.
test the volume, are you ready?
Volume's always difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear
I
me?
mean, honestly,
No.
that's not really what's going on right now, and I'm getting, like,
I have to tell
Oh,
you. You got
okay.
yeah. I think you, hold on a second. Oh, no, I think it's just makeup. I think it's just makeup smear. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you're good.
Anybody know how to work this pad? Although, that's something happened. Okay, let's see.
Oh, no.
There's the volume button. Oh, there we go. Let's see. That's something. So it should definitely work.
Yeah, it's always the volume. It's like everyone has troubles with that. You could be a teacher here for 15 years, you'll still not get it. Oh, there we go.
It's fine.
Okay.
But Lydia gets it first try.
It's
There
like,
we
what
go.
other button?
She was trying that in class today, and I saw her on that side of the pen, so.
A single act of crime can affect someone long after it happens. The mind replays it endlessly, warping what really happened and consuming our thoughts. No one can undo what happened, but there is a simple process which 85% of victims of crime said helped. Restorative justice is a process through which victims can meet their offender. It allows them to ask questions, have their say, and move on with their lives. Help us spread the word about restorative justice. You never know who it may help in the future. Restorative justice works. Share this film and help us spread the word.
Okay, I'm gonna get this set up while you think about your responses, because I want you to see this one. I think it answers some of your other questions about what is restorative practice, what is restorative justice. And you know what the title of it is? What is restorative? Okay, this is one, I'm gonna get it set up. And
Our world is-
we'll talk. So, video, did they answer your question?
Yeah, how everything works. Yeah.
The whole idea of restorative justice, number one priority, person that was harmed. Number one, it gives them a voice, because otherwise they don't have that voice. And they're dealing with this stuff.
Mhm.
Think about something that happened to you a long time ago. It could have been something simple. Like one of the stories I read was, it was like somebody stole a 12-year-old stole a mini bike out of somebody's garage. And they had made this 12-year-old, they didn't know who stole the mini bike. So in their brain, there was some monster, some
Yeah.
really violent people, and they were afraid. Then they found out it was a 12-year-old. Humanize the situation, the fear goes away. When those two talked, they talked as human beings, and no one was a monster anymore. How many of you have ever unintentionally did harm to someone else? Who wants to be known for the harm you did? That's all you are. That's stigmatizing. Restorative allows that person to be him. Separating doer from the deed. Again, repeat behavior. We'll address the repeat behavior over and over and over. So repeat offenders, we keep addressing the behavior. We never forget that they have value, and that's the difference. Being restorative is never forgetting that no matter what act you do, there's consequences for your action, but we don't, make you less of a human. Okay? Other thoughts, questions about the video? Okay, I have to show you this one. This is an elevated version of what is restorative practices, okay?
Changing at a breathtaking pace. Social patterns that have long characterized human life are changing dramatically around the globe, diminishing social bonds within families, schools, workplaces, and communities. But humans are hardwired to connect. Just as we need food, shelter, and clothing, we also need strong and meaningful relationships to thrive. With all this in mind, what is restorative practices? Restorative practices is an emerging social science that studies how to strengthen relationships between individuals and within communities. When put into practice, the effects are profound. In schools, students experience greater safety and sense of belonging, resulting in improved behavior, less bullying, and less violence. In workplaces, leaders facilitate direct communication among staff and address conflict as it arises. The result is higher performance, greater accountability, and effective collaboration. In criminal justice, new options allow victims and offenders, friends and family, to repair the emotional harm caused by crime. Throughout our neighborhoods, restorative practices give regular people more voice in the issues that matter most. In a nutshell, restorative practices is the science of relationships and community. Your individual daily interactions have a big impact on the world around you, at your job, with young people, and throughout your community. How we relate matters. This video was brought to you by the International Institute for Restorative Practices.
And if, for what you're doing, if you want more information about restorative practice, IRP website has a ton of information if you want to learn more. So, takeaways from that video, what jumped out?
I like how they showed, like in work, the different like tiers, and then they're all together at the table.
Right. And I think that was your question. Is this for kids? It's for everybody. It is how we treat everybody, starting with the person sitting in your seat. Okay? Other questions, thoughts?
Well, I guess mine was just because it wasn't just about, I mean, because we came in here just for like the restorative justice part, but it really, there's so many parts that you could use this for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Restorative justice is about repairing harm and repairing relationships, giving a voice to the person that was harmed. Okay? Restorative practices, all that stuff we do to build relationships, communities, which reduces the amount of harm. For example, you're my neighbor. Oh no, let's go into your household. Any of you sit around the table, eat dinner with your family. Those conversations are honest, they're real, they're probably loving, respectful, but in communities, when you don't know anybody, it's hard to have those real conversations. Going back to that continuum I showed you with effective language, I love effective language, because it's three purposes for it. You're telling people what you think, feel about everything. So the one thing I'm doing, I'm setting boundaries. I don't like that. That makes me uncomfortable. I'm giving feedback instead of saying, yeah, that's a dumb idea. I'm saying, I don't agree with you. Teaching empathy. I feel disrespected when you talk out of my class. I feel disrespected when you talk to me that way. I feel nervous, anxious, frustrated. You're teaching empathy all the time. This is how I'm impacted. Those things, and having those conversations along the way, we don't have to get to the restorative justice a lot. Still will be situations, and that's what you use restorative justice for. But you can cut down on a lot of that 60% of junk in the middle. And that's why it's so universal with schools, families, organizations, period. Yes, ma'am.
Are people like quick to do this, or is this? Because I feel like if I was like a victim, or not a victim, if I was a person committing a crime or in the wrong, then people, like human nature in general, isn't like, let's talk about what I did wrong.
Right.
Like, are people like found quicker to do that?
Well, is you engage that process. So some, yes, some no. I mean, there are people who are pathological. You know, they have no emotion, they have no empathy, probably not. But that's where the explicit practices, you got fair process in there too. Because I've said to a lot of students, I'm upset when you do that. And I've had students tell me, teenage boys tell me, I don't give a blank what you think, Mr. Jones. And then I say, yeah, I can't make you give a blank, but this is what's gonna happen if this continues. Fair. I'm giving you a voice, tell me what I think and feel, but I'm also letting you know the outcome. So This is why it's so important to have a community that functions that way. I'm giving you a voice, you can use your voice. So say you did commit a crime, okay, and you don't want to participate, that's your choice. Consequences are already there. This is a way you can repair harm for what you did to her. If you choose not to, then you choose not to. So, because you can't make people do restorative. You can't do it to them. And that's why the practice is so important, because you're creating that environment. Because with the impact on court services with starting to do restorative justice, move forward, this is gonna be how they do business. And so, and if I function, what I do a lot, what I'm very intentional about is working with every element of our community that has involvement with kids and their families, with the goal of keeping kids and families safe in schools and communities, so we build that capacity. That's why I love restorative leadership teams, because all that is about preventative stuff. When we get to crime, yeah, we'll have to deal with it. So,
But how long does it take? Like, how many sessions do people usually have to go through before they kind of get to that place?
for restorative justice, I mean, the session itself is one time.
Oh, it is just one time. Okay.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because usually, not usually, restorative justice conferencing is for a specific incident caused by one person or a group of people, but it's specific. It's not where I get you in here and tell you all the bad things you've done. You stole her, who stole the purse? I get confused now. You stole the purse. So this conference is gonna be about 100% about the purse. I'm not bringing up that what you did someplace else. It's a specific incident. The goal is to see if you, and I'll give you an example of restorative questions. That's why they're so important. So you stole a purse, right? So I'm gonna say to you, what happened?
I was hungry and I wanted money, and
Okay.
I saw a purse.
So you stole a purse. What were you thinking at the time you stole a purse?
I needed money.
How does that make you feel?
Selfish.
What is the impact of you stealing her purse?
She got hurt, and now I'm getting in trouble.
Anybody else impacted by you stealing a purse?
My family,
Who else?
um,
Who else? Can you think of anybody else?
her family.
And how were they all impacted by that?
I probably hurt their family, and now they don't feel safe. And
Okay. What do you think you need to do to make this right to her?
admit that I was wrong.
Okay, so admit you were wrong. Anything else you can do?
Say apologize to her family.
It's okay, apologize. Anything else?
Anybody else have an idea?
Now, that is a restorative conversation. That's those cards. They're set in past, present, future. Past, what did you do? You stole, right? Present, thoughts and feelings about what you did. Impact of what you did. Reflect on all the people that you harmed by doing this. Future, what are you willing to do to make this right? And I would have the same conversation with her, but I would Jessica. Oh, wow, that's good. Okay. I would have said, Jessica, what happened?
I had my purse stolen.
Okay. What were you thinking at the time that that happened?
I was scared
What have you thought about since?
that it's gonna happen again.
How do you feel about, did I say how you feel yet? Thoughts. How do you feel about that situation?
It makes me feel unsafe.
Okay. Who has been impacted by this and how?
Me and my family, friends, because they were worried and scared, I guess.
What needs to happen to make this right for me? What do you need to make this right?
I need to understand the background and get an apology. That would help.
Anything else that you need from her?
I think.
Okay. even knowing the situation, it causes you to reflect and you to start thinking. The person that's asking the question is facilitating the conversation. You're coming to the conclusion that you're willing to do that. So if you come to the conclusion, I'm not doing anything, I don't care if I see her and steal her purse again, I'm not getting you two together. The restorative justice is to repair harm, restore relationship, humanizes you, and gives a voice to you. That's the goal. Everything else that happens, those things are the most important part. You need to have a voice. You need to at least have someone who's going to let you tell your story, how this impacted you. You need to have the opportunity to repair the harm, and you need to also have an opportunity to be humanized and not consider just filling the labels that we stigmatize people with, the criminal, fill in the blank. You're a human who did something wrong. Separate D from the door. Shame, it's two kinds of shame. One is stigmatizing shame. You are the bad thing you did, or you did a bad thing. We're gonna call you out on it, and we're gonna give you some shame. Hopefully you will feel bad that the damage you caused to her, but now, here's your opportunity to come back to the community. I'm gonna give you a quote. It's an African proverb, and the quote is, any child not embraced by his village community will burn it down to feel the warmth. Now think about that for a second. If we threw you away and we threw you out of our community, you're gonna be mad at us. We're basically we're turning you who committed a crime into a victim. You're gonna be angry, fill in the blank, and you're gonna find a subculture, or you're gonna strike back at the people who threw you away. That's why we don't throw people away. That's why restorative justice is so important. We hold you accountable for what you did, but we're not throwing you away. You still have human value. Okay? Other thoughts, questions?
So you might have two.